Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Yak Gadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs, go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started. And welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast. I'm Brian.
It's Josh.
Ryan and
Jay.
Dustin Nick.
It's Ricketts.
And I'm Brad.
Susie Roloff.
Sam Jones. Got Dan Perry with
The Bass Fishing Noobs.
Final Cast.
Chasing the Tide, Saltwater Segment Hero.
Adventures with Outdoor Women.
The Real Down.
He's got
A Cyber Monday.
Oh yeah, dude.
Happy birthday, you listeners.
Oh, guys. This is a stud.
She is the giant.
Mr. Drew Gregory himself. Welcome, Drew.
Got it.
Got me a fishy.
Mr. J.D. DeRosier.
That name. Still in football.
We got Mr. Scott Future in the house this evening.
I'm really proud of you guys for not bringing up pedal drive yet.
Solid. Oh no. Mr. Ribbon led to themselves. Nobody Williams. And with me tonight, we got a one and only Jason Roach.
Boom.
It's real exciting. You tell a good story with that.
State of kayak.
Yeah, like State of the Union, but State of the State.
All right. Woo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the what is this, fourth birthday party, I guess?
I mean, this is your baby. You should know.
Well, it's funny. I have some statistics. I have some notes here. We'll go over those in a second, but I was like, man, we should start the show out with playing that old trailer, and we actually need to do a new one because there's a lot of faces that we saw that used to be a part of the podcast that aren't necessarily part of the podcast anymore, but are still great friends of the podcast. There's some guests in there that may show up tonight during the show. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to reminisce on some memories, get some laughs. Maybe we could see old floppy Hicks himself catch a fish. We'll see. But here's a stat for you. Since we got Brad Hicks in here, he, other than myself and Jay, I was thinking about this yesterday, is one of the oldest hosts on the Paddle and Fin podcast, other than Jay and myself. The first show Brad was ever on was June 27th, 2019. What do you think about that, sir?
That's crazy, man. 3 years?
3 years. 3 years, my friend. 3 years. It was pretty much a year after we started the podcast is when we started expanding and adding all these different shows and segments, and it's kind of morphed into what it is now.
He started on the Reel Down, didn't he? Or I guess I can ask Brad.
Started on the Reel Down with John Graves as his co-host.
Wow.
I didn't know Johnny Graves used to be part of the podcast.
I didn't know that either.
Yep. That was weird.
So, yeah.
Let's
Throwback
check it out.
there. But super cool, man. Super cool. We got
There we go.
JD DeRosier in the house.
What's up, JD?
Got a feeling we may see him here
Oh, I
in
got
a
one.
short minute or two. Oh, here we go.
Always.
It better be 20 inches. Otherwise, we're taking you out of the chat.
And Rock Bass.
No, he's a smallmouth. Tiny one.
Oh, tiny one.
Got him on the finesse jig, though. That was fun.
How long
Hey,
is he?
that's what I caught my big one on.
I don't know. I let him go. He's probably like 13 or 14.
He's chasing like 23s now.
I'm fishing with Matt. He's back there.
Oh, right on. Right on. We got Trey Johnson in the house. He said if Jimmy's drinking, this will be a ton of fun.
I am not, so I'm sorry, guys. It's going to suck.
We got Tyler Daniels in the house. Says, what's up, boys? Brian Slayton said, is Brad trying to catch a small jaw? Well, he just
did.
got one.
Yeah.
Just got one.
Just missed it.
We got Slifka.
What's up, Chris?
The host of the Mindset podcast in the house. But what statistics do you want to hear first?
There's one statistic that I really want to know if we've hit. It's a milestone. I want to know if we've hit the milli mark yet.
Okay, we'll build up to that.
Damn it!
I'll start from the top, and then I will give you that number at the end. All right,
Okay,
you guys
that
ready for
works.
this? 4 years, 954 episodes. This will actually be 955. This
That's
episode
so
here.
crazy.
That is crazy.
You know what I forgot to look up? All right, this will blow your mind. I'll find it real quick. So on YouTube, we got 115,687 views.
Woo!
Wow.
On Facebook,
That's almost pro YouTube status.
right? On Facebook, we got 206,200.
Hey, Matt.
I gotta scroll way back here. 2019 would have been June. I forgot to write this one stat down.
I thought I saw a paddle waving back there.
Yeah,
Oh, are they sharing notes? What are they sharing?
That was muted.
Is he back
Alright,
there?
so here you
cussing
go.
it up? Oh, here we
Here
go.
you go. This is the stat. In the first year of Paddle and Fin, we had 15,000 plays in the first year. Okay. Currently, this year, just this year alone, from January 1st to present day, 213,490.
Jeez.
I'd say that's a small growth. Just a little.
Total podcast plays to date, as of about a half hour ago, 735,673.
Holy crap.
So combined with the podcast platforms, YouTube and Facebook, total plays 1,057,560.
That's
Boom.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking million. Sorry. I'm excited about that. I've been wondering if we passed it and you just weren't telling us. Because none of us get to see the stat, and I've like that's the only one I've been really worried about lately. Is like I really want to know if we hit the milli. That's so cool.
I knew we were close, and I haven't done the math. I was kind of waiting for this show to do the math, but yeah, with those three kind of platforms combined, we're over the million mark, and I think currently, by the end of this year, we should hit 1 million on just the podcast platforms alone.
Wow.
I would say that we should hit 1 mil too on everything, right? If everything stayed consistent.
Oh, we'll be way over that.
That's
Way
so
over that.
cool, dude. That's awesome.
Look at these guys.
That's
Both
a lot
fishing.
of
Hello.
Why don't you guys just tie off next to each other and use one phone to stream?
I don't want to tie off next to him.
And then Matt can catch all his fish.
I'm
I've
teaching
got big
Matt how to catch a fish.
Suck it.
All right, I'm gonna drop you guys down for a minute. We got our first guest of the evening in the house, and I got a stat on this one too. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. JD DeRosier. What's up, brother?
JD on for a birthday show, man. Yeah.
I think you've been on every single birthday show, so
Yes,
that's why it was only right to have you on tonight.
I appreciate it.
Are you ready for this stat, JD?
Hit me.
The first Paddle and Fin podcast episode you were ever on, February 12th of 2019.
Taking it back.
You're an old man now. You can retire, bro.
Let me get my cane, man.
You have to speak in my good ear.
Huh?
It's always good to see you, man. Just wanted to get you on, kind of share some stories and things like that, man. And I mean, obviously, you were kind of tuned in. You heard all those stats we released just a second ago. So, thoughts on that, brother?
Absolutely incredible. Super stoked and proud of all you guys. Thank you for your hard work and dedication and all the good laughs. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come back on again. I don't know how many times I've been on, a lot, but I always enjoy it and always appreciate the camaraderie and the friendship. And congratulations on being over 1 million. That's phenomenal.
It's pretty killer, man. And before we started this show, and it was like right when Jimmy, or I'm sorry, not Jay Randall jumped in, which Jay should be here momentarily. You know, he's just a little late to his own show and birthday party. So good job, Jay. But you know, that's the thing, right? Like, it's, you mentioned camaraderie, brotherhood, man, and it's crazy. But before we started, I was listening to, and I do it like 2 or 3 times a year, is I always go back and listen to that first ever podcast. I don't recommend that anybody does it because it's absolutely horrible.
I'm gonna do that now.
Just because we were so green and we had no idea what we were doing, and like we're talking like this, and it's super quiet, and it's just like I don't know what to say, you know. So it's kind of funny to see, you know, and not only that, but it's humbling and it's grounding, right? Like you always got to remember your roots, and I think that's something that I've learned from JD along the way. JD has been a pretty spectacular mentor to me throughout the years, and that's kind of how we developed our friendship. You know, I reached out to you, you know, on some personal stuff and trying to get into this whole kayak fishing gig and things like that, man. And you've always been there and had solid advice for me, whether I liked it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, to me, it's about keeping it real. And Brian, you can contest to that. I mean, I am who I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, I don't want any glory. I don't want any limelight. I just want to help others and share my knowledge. And I mean, Brian, I was just thinking about earlier today, like, this is going to come up. Us hanging out, eating at Chipotle.
That always comes up, bro.
Yeah. And
you drive 10 hours to see my man, and he'll take you to the finest Chipotle restaurant in all of Greenville.
Next time I'm taking you Jamaican. But yeah, I mean, Brian, we bounce music off each other. We'll just check in on each other. It's great, man.
No, I completely agree, man. It's been a sounds cliche to say it, but a long distance relationship, man. Like, we've only ran into each other like twice maybe?
Yeah.
Personally, but we talk almost on a weekly basis, man, which is pretty awesome, dude. And I feel very fortunate to be able to reach out at any time and call you a friend, brother. So
absolutely.
So
same here.
We got to ask, dude, like, favorite podcast moment for you?
Oh man. I'll never forget when Ricketts was talking about that mountain bike seat.
That's still like the best story ever.
I totally forget about that till somebody brings it up.
I think that was one of the times I almost drove off the road listening.
Oh, that's great. That is so great. I completely forgot all about that. Yeah, that was definitely an interesting story and experience you shared with us for sure.
We need to figure out how to like pin that episode as like the first episode people see when they like click on the podcast. I think everybody would be hooked on after that story.
No, for sure. Good old Ricketts, man. Funny stuff for sure. But
what's your JD? What's your favorite segment?
I go with the OG.
We could still be friends, bro. It's cool. If you want to pick somebody else, we could still be friends.
No way.
I want to say, and it's kind of cool that it worked out this way, that you're on with Sean, because you guys just recently did a fly fishing episode. And I listened to that from front to back, dude, and it was really, really good. Really solid advice, and
thank you.
Super cool to sit back and listen. And Sean's always done a great job, along with Ryan. As far as the noob show, coming at it from a beginner's angle, and I thought Sean asked some great questions in there that I even asked when I was a beginner at fly fishing. And I thought it was a pretty solid episode. So if you guys missed it, if you're listening on the podcast, watching live, later go back and listen. I think it was about a month ago on the Bass Fishing for Noobs show. These two guys did a show together, and it was pretty killer.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, Sean. It was good times.
No, definitely, and I learned a lot, man. So,
did you get a rig yet? You ready to go?
No, not yet. I'm still wearing out my stuff I have right now, but it's definitely on my wish list, and it won't be long. So,
I like it.
He's still recovering from paying for the combo of yours he lost.
That's a great story, right? Because I don't think, did we talk about this on the podcast at all?
I think we did on the recap.
I was going to say, I think we did. But
it was great, though.
We're in Dale Hollow this year. Sean flew in, brought a boat down for him, told him, hey, man, I got plenty of rods. I knew he was going to be fishing a Ned rig, so I give him my babushka, Balabushka, Like, if you've ever seen The Color of Money, that pool cue that Paul Newman gives to Tom Cruise, that's the Balabushka. Like, that's sacred ground, right? And I give it to Sean, and I'm like, hey, bro, you're going to fall in love with this rod. Nice Douglas, X-Matrix, 6103, beautiful Daiwa reel on it, spooled up with some fresh P-line. You'll love it, dude. You'll love it. Just don't lose it.
It was great for the first day.
Just don't lose it. Don't break it. The last day, I come back to the ramp, and Sean's there, just like the saddest look on his face. And I'm like, dude, did this kid just get a call? Like, a family member pass away, something like that? And he's like, dude, I lost your rod. And I was like, no, you didn't. Come on, man. And I thought he was joking with me because we all joke with each other. Like, that's our thing. We're like brothers and sisters, you know? I thought for sure he was joking. He's like, I just spent the last half hour trying to snag it off the bottom of the lake.
What really happened is Sean was like, this thing is garbage.
You know what the dumbest thing was? I was so late the day before getting back to the ramp, and you guys were all worried and calling me and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to be the first one back to the ramp. I got back to the right around the ramp, and I just fished. I was like, I'm just going to fish right here. And of course, I kicked it off in like the deepest part of the water. I spent the whole day in like 5 foot of water, and then right back towards the ramp, it's like 40 foot deep, and that's where I dropped it.
Couldn't be in 4 foot of water.
No, exactly.
40.
I would have been in there getting it if it was 4 feet of water for sure.
No, for sure. Fun times, man. Like I told you, worse things could happen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, no, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So
Brian now
JD
knows next time he fly in that you need to fly in with your own stuff.
No, I'm just gonna buy a couple of ugly sticks and bring them down for him.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the Walmart and buy some ugly stick combos for him.
Yeah, I think next time I'm driving back down. You know, I miss my Outback for sure. Not that the Old Town wasn't nice, but it definitely. I felt so awkward pedaling that thing.
I was gonna say, you don't have to lie. We know you didn't really enjoy it. You're like, yeah, no, this ain't all that.
It was so weird pedaling in a circle rather than front and back. I felt like I was learning how all over again. It was definitely different. So
You Hobie guys, you know. So what do you got planned for the rest of the summer, JD? Any trips? Any cool things coming up in your near future, brother?
Yeah, I've started teaching some fly classes. I've got to teach one on creek fishing later this month, and then I've been kind of took an intern and a new guy right out of college that's working for us at Hubble. And I've been teaching them casting lessons at lunch. So we've got a trip planned for the 30th with those guys. And then I just found out that just tonight, because right before you text me, Brian, I was walking in the door from fly tying night. Nice. And we're going to be doing a women's cancer benefit. So ladies that have just undergone treatment or just coming out of the treatment, we're going to do like this big, huge Western North Carolina event for those ladies through Douglas, of course, Dodson's Fishing. That should be really, really good. And I taught my first fly tying class 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was kind of interesting. Yeah, it was good. Not too many people there, so the nerves wasn't too bad. As far as trips, you know, I'm in the kayak or beating up the backcountry every other weekend. I don't have any real major trips. We just got back from a huge 11-day trip to Hawaii, or Hawaii. Nice. Let me say it the right way. And that was absolutely spectacular. I learned about the native rainbow trout population that is over there. They have stock and native in the same river, but higher up above 3,000 feet, you can get on the wild rainbows, and that's on the island of Kauai, which was mind-blowingly beautiful.
Heck yeah, man.
And out west next year.
Out west next year?
Oh, yeah.
You got to send me the dates. I'll meet you, bro.
Sounds good.
I told you that.
Yes, sir.
Blue River.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I'm down. I'm definitely down.
Right on,
I've started tying some bass flies now, so it's been fun. You know, tying larger articulated patterns. We tied a deceiver pattern tonight, which is a saltwater pattern, but it crosses over into freshwater for bass.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Super awesome, brother, man. I always love seeing you, catching up, and all that good stuff. for those people that may have never seen you on this podcast, which means they're probably fresh to it, where can they follow you? Because you do some awesome photography stuff, and you're always doing some cool backcountry things, which always gets me excited when I see it.
I appreciate it, Brian. Really, it comes from my heart, man. I really appreciate everything. And you can find me on Facebook at JD DeRosiers or Instagram at JDD DeRosiers. I'm probably more active, honestly, on Instagram than I am anywhere. But I have both of them talking to each other. And just keep your eyes out. I've got a lot of photography projects going on. I just finished up a big project for Bending Branches. So all that should be coming out publicly soon, hopefully.
Sweet.
But yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to come back on the show. And if anybody has, any questions about kayak fishing, especially from an inflatable, or any questions about fly fishing, period, just hit me up. I'm an open book.
Real quick before you leave, I need you to give somebody a hard time, a really hard time for showing up late to their own show.
Mr. Late Pants, here we are. I've been waiting to see you. All the way down here in Tennessee. Ain't even called a brother yet.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
Hey, it's coming. Hey, but check it out. I did buy a hammock. And I'm getting ready.
How are you, buddy?
What's up, JD?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you sound
good.
like you're in a
using
closet,
different
but
setup right
that's
now.
nothing new.
I'm in it.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
You're good, though.
Uh-oh.
You're good.
And cue Jimmy.
That's
Love that
not
name,
Jay
dude.
Randall. Did you notice his name? It says not Jay Randall.
Yeah.
I mean, since you can't be on time for your own show, I figured I could.
It was funny because yeah. Well, it's funny. As soon as I came in here and I was listening, I heard inflatable. I was like, "Are we talking about Jimmy's side chick again?"
Oh, it's so original. You just showed your age, bro. You can come up with something better than that.
All right. We got some more people down here. JD, always awesome to see you, brother. Thank you so much for hopping on. We appreciate you, brother. Be good. Tell the family we say hello and get out there and catch some monster trout, brother.
Likewise. Appreciate it, fellas. Y'all have a great one.
You too,
See
brother.
JD.
See ya.
All right, later on.
JD DeRosier, boys and girls. Let's get some paddle and fin folks up in here. Susie Roloff.
The queen is in the house.
Poppin'.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Girls?
Hey, Armando. How are you, brother?
You guys doing all right? Your Majesty,
All right.
the Queen?
It's like Brady Bunch in here right now. I like it.
Did somebody clone Brad Hicks? Or is that? Oh, that's Matt. I was like, is that the?
That's
does he
Matt
have two
and
cameras
Brad.
going at the same time? Oh, there you go.
That's funny. They do look very, very similar right now.
I know. They even match dress, right?
Did you
Matt,
guys
turn your head around backwards, Matt?
Yeah, Matt, turn your head around.
Did you guys call each other before you hit the water? So you guys wore the same thing or what?
You imagine two guys pulling up the same time at the ramp, dressed exactly the same, and they're not fishing on a team.
Matt just had a swing and a miss.
No, he didn't.
It was all for the
just
camera.
he just went to set the hook and nothing was there. Nothing was there. So for you folks that are late, those that are joining the show, Jimmy and Sean kicked off the show with me, but because I'm going to see all you paddle and fin folks tonight, some statistics for you folks. Susie, I just looked this up. The first time you were ever on Paddle and Fin podcast was July 2nd, 2019. No applause. Jeez. Come on, guys.
Your Highness.
The first time Jay Randall was ever on the podcast was July 22nd, 2018. Then again on October 31st, 2018, and then his when he took over as co-host with me, it was January 18th, 2019.
And he said a combined 15 words, all 3 shows.
So quite a bit of time in there. But what you guys missed, this episode here will be 955 episodes.
Yeah.
In 4 years. The first year, what did I say before, boys?
15,000.
15,000. Yeah.
In the first year, we had 15,000 plays on the podcast, and we didn't put anything on YouTube or Facebook really at that time. This year alone, from January 1st to present day, 213,490 plays.
Wow.
Total plays on the podcast platforms, 735,673. On YouTube, 115,687. On Facebook, 206,200. Total views, all platforms combined, 1,057,560.
Hot dog.
So we hit the million mark.
Awesome.
Yeah, boy.
So my
So-
question
We
is,
need to get
when's
us a
the
plaque made.
Yeah. My question is, when's the paychecks rolling in now?
when those folks at home start sending money to us, just drop your PayPal in the chat, Armando.
Just think about how much time that is that people have spent listening to this. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, so if you figure, because I went through and started trying to calculate this up, and I was like, this is just way too much because I would have had to add 954 things together. But on average, our shows are about an hour. There's a couple that are a little over. So if we just say that they're an hour long.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
54 divided by 24. It would basically take you 40 days to listen to every episode from start to finish.
Jesus Christ.
Going 24 hours a day.
That's
if I did that math correct. I could be wrong.
I feel like that would be a torture for someone we don't like. Lock them in a room and just let it roll. 40 days.
You never know what the CIA does. They probably lock people in a room and just play paddle and fin on repeat. Jay's cutting in and out a little bit.
I heard something cat kayak something.
Yeah, but he's got a cute kitten, so that makes it all better.
A little putty
right on. So I'm gonna, because Brad and Matt are super focused on fishing, I'm gonna drop them out for a second. We got our next guest.
I think that was for show.
Next guest coming up. He's definitely become a friend of all of ours. Extremely huge proponent for paddle and fin, always helping us out, promoting us. None other than Big Daddy Rap. 2 more, baby.
Hey guys.
Hey,
what up?
Hey, John, what's up, brother?
My peeps in the house. Thanks for the invite and outstanding work, you guys. Over 250,000 YouTube videos or hours, and the amount of
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for being here, brother. And
hey, man, I appreciate the invite. I spend my time in the courthouse when I have a few minutes listening to y'all's shows, and I really enjoy them, and I learn a lot from them, and try to apply some of y'all's knowledge and techniques and use it with my stuff. So
I feel like some of it probably just like drives people to drinking or bad habits. I mean, you listen to Sean's show, I'm sure you get some great stuff, but I think the rest of it's just downhill.
I catch Sean's show pretty frequently, so where it and Jimmy, yours too, where it streams in the day. So,
Heck yeah.
hey Jay, are you there?
What's that, buddy?
Jay's kind of there.
I'm saying, is there a Jay Randall in the house?
Yeah, he's right there.
So yeah, I may be needing some directions here in a week or so.
We're all crashing Jay's place on the way to ICAST.
He doesn't know it yet.
No, he doesn't. I haven't told him anything yet.
We just go drink his beer and eat all his food.
Dude, he probably doesn't have anything in his fridge. He's probably still hitting it like the Bachelors do. Just fast food bags and boxes everywhere.
I think Jay's trying to say something. Either his mic is off or his connection is lagging.
I think you're muted, Jay, or something. We got no audio on you.
One second.
So, I mean, for those that don't know you, John, I know you've been on the podcast a couple times, man. But you do what's called the Rusty Hook podcast. We've had many conversations about that, and seems like things are really picking for you, which is awesome. And it's always fun to be on your show and tune in, listen to what you got going on, Chris Payne, and you've had some pretty cool roundtable discussions on there too, man. So for those that don't know you and your podcast, give them a little background on that, man.
Well, I am a long arm off the tree from the Paddle and Fin Network. I'm way off, but I'm getting drug into this beautiful crew of people very slowly. I am the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. I stream live every Tuesday night. It's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and I stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And back in April, Brian, when we were down at the Paddle and Fin Fest in East Forest, Tennessee.
That's right. Hey, man. And
I want to plug that for April 22nd and 23rd.
You don't got to talk now.
I don't know what's happening.
I gotta.
That's not me. I don't think.
That's actually Jay from 5 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah, I kicked him out.
That was some beautiful mimery.
That was very strange.
What you guys just observed is what normally happens on my podcast. But yeah, plug for you guys. 2023, April 22nd, 23rd, that whole week. Take your vacation now, guys. Plan to go to East Fort, Tennessee. It's going to be a great, great time. And I guarantee moonshine will be there.
Yeah.
That's like the only reason I go anymore.
So that's a great story there, because since you brought that up, yeah, we'll be back down at Eastport for our big open event on Dale Hollow that weekend of April 23rd, 24th next year. And John Rapp kind of was known as the man with the moonshine this year. He would walk around and have everybody taste test like 7 different things of moonshine, and then like everybody was walking out the door kind of sideways, and it was like, oh, John Rapp got a hold of him. The plan worked. I did squeeze into the top 10 this year.
It's a bold strategy.
I appreciate that. Last year I met you guys, Jimmy and Jay, Brian, all at the Yak Gadget retreat, and from day one we've just been really good and tight, and you guys have been inspiration to me. Start my show. I've been in the industry for years. I fished a lot of tournaments, but I'm getting a little older, and I enjoy just sharing the love now, and talking about our passion, and being able to watch Paddle and Fin and what you guys do. has given me a little reinvigorated my passion. And so, it's really good to be able to talk about it and do what we do. So.
Totally agree there. It's look-wise, it's always been cool. And we got Mr. Richard DeVries in the chat, and he says it's always the lawman with the shine.
It's funny because he mentioned, we met at that Yak Gadget getaway, and that's where 2 more came from. Like right out of the gate, this dude was like, "Here, everybody drink. Let's do this." We had a great time, though.
We had a great time, but Yak Gadget brought in Charles come in with 3 cases of beer,
something
enough, and a bottle of bourbon.
Oh yeah, so me and Brian are sitting over there, and Jimmy, we're all sitting over there, and we're just talking, and these guys, man, I've never seen 2 dudes pack the way they pack. I mean, they had a store. They took up the whole kitchen.
I'll promise you 80% of that was Brian's.
Well, yeah, it was amazing. All the stuff
I've still got that picture.
Yeah, we were looking at all his gear. We were talking about how to throw it, how to work it. We just sit there and talk. And every time Brian or Jimmy would get up, I'd yell, "Get 2 more." So
it was a great trip. I'm see if I can pull that picture up real quick. That's one of my favorite pictures because it's literally basically a picnic table, 2 benches, the floor. It's a lot. Which that was nothing. I don't know if you came by the cabin this year, didn't you, John?
Yeah.
Brian had 5 of the Academy gear totes, and we're talking the 3 foot by 1.5 foot.
It was 4
full.
Okay.
Whatever. It was a lot. Full. It was fantastic. I got quite a few baits out of
that. So did many other people. That's what happens when Mr. DeVries is selling dollar drafts, and people just keep handing them to me. But that's okay. It's okay. It was a good time. But no, good stuff, man. John, favorite memory of the podcast or moment could even include the trips we've had down in Tennessee, the events that we've had, and things like that, man.
I have several really good ones. I like the very first one that I did with you guys. It was right around this one last year, or it could have been my second time, but it was right before July 4th, and I came on with my lighted glasses.
That's right.
Had the 4th of July glasses on and hat. One of the things I love to do is make people laugh, and I try to do that with you guys because I enjoy your company, and I want to keep everything light and fun, So, I would have to think maybe when is it Chris? When he slid down the slicky slide.
Oh, it was JP.
Oh, JP.
Yeah. It was JP.
Oh, yeah.
He went down the water slide on the houseboat.
That was a good time.
That also got us in a little bit of trouble.
So and it's always fun to be around Johnny Graves. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
John Graves is a hoot.
Absolutely.
I don't think the Mexican restaurant will ever forget us when he was telling his story about his repossession trip to Florida, and he was talking about a scene at the beach.
Yeah.
So, they'll never. Couple rednecks from West Virginia laughing so hard that day, and John Graves is sitting there with his eyes all big, like, "Oh no, what did I say?" Yeah.
Good stuff, brother. Good stuff. Well, we appreciate you jumping on here, man, for a few minutes just to share the love and tell some stories and stuff like that, man. So for those that may not know, tell them when they could catch your show and where to find you and all that good stuff, man.
Well, Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. It's on Facebook. That's the primary channel that I use. I also stream with Twitch and YouTube. I'm playing a lot with Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, please look me up. It's JK Rap Jr. Twitter's come out with a new, just saw it today, where they're going to start doing broadcasting, on live broadcasting. Brian, you need to look that up. And where you can do a show like what we're doing right now, except it's just audio. And I definitely, I'm going to pursue that and work that angle a little bit. But I look forward to seeing you guys at ICAST or on our way to ICAST doing some fishing, whatever we do. Jay, be ready, Big Daddy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
I
brother.
love that his delay is making him just look oblivious.
Well, I look forward to hearing his reply when I go down to the house and turn on the show.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks, John.
Susie Q, keep disqualifying all those fish.
Susie Q in them.
God bless all you guys. Nothing but love for all of you, and I wish you continued success.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see it. Well, this next one will be good because
yes,
Jay is
Jay won't
lagging
be able
out
to
and he
defend
can't
himself.
Can't
Right.
defend himself.
He's
until
vulnerable
he gets
now.
a good connection. So, without further ado, we got Mike McKinstry in the house. What up, brother?
What's going on?
What's up, Mike?
I know you're kind of on limited time, dude. We appreciate you hopping on, and I apologize for forgetting to send you the link when I thought I sent it to you last night.
Yeah, Brian sent me a message. Hey, are you jumping on? I'm like, yeah, man. You never sent me a link. But no, it's good to be on here, man. I just got back. I had to do like an appearance thing at a auction thing we were doing. I just walked in the door and he messaged me, and I have to leave for hockey in like 12 minutes or 13 minutes, so it worked out perfect.
Right on,
So
right on.
You give us a solid 10 minutes of roasting, Jay.
Oh, that's easy. That's all I get. Jay's not even here to like appreciate it either.
Well, that's the thing. He's probably watching on his phone, and he's trying to figure out his internet connection is a little jacked
Oh,
up
I'm
right
pretty
now.
sure when he saw Mike pop in, that's why he just clicked off. It's like, oh, the internet went out.
One of those things where he skips every word. He goes, "I'm cut. Got." And then hangs up.
Love it,
man.
man.
So
Well,
what's going on with everybody? How's everything going tonight? I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to watch everyone else on here before I jumped on.
It's all good, man. This show usually goes for about 2 hours or so, and
Oh, geez.
we just like to get a few folks on that we've had on as guests or friends of the podcast and stuff like that, man. And you've always been right there for us. You know, anytime we reached out and hey, man, you want to hop on, and you're always there. And it's always good to catch up with you, and you're doing some really, really cool stuff, man. So, favorite moment ever being on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure we all know the answer to this.
Is this better? Is this better?
That's better. That's
Whoa,
better.
much better.
This is just in time. Just in
I am
time.
right next to the router, man. Like, I don't understand what's going on right now.
There he is.
What's up, Mickey?
And you guys said you couldn't afford supermodels. Come on.
So
that is our proof to how much the podcast does not pay.
Yeah.
You're like, we're low budget. Like some people are low budget, but we're Jay Randall low budget.
Dude, you don't even know. I will say this, just today I did upgrade, but I don't have the stuff yet, but it's been a heck of a day.
That's awesome. So Brian, I didn't get your question you asked me before Jay jumped on. I kind of went,
Oh,
you said my favorite part of the podcast.
favorite moment, memory, laugh, anything like that. I'm pretty sure we know where this is going.
Well, it's tough because like I've been on your guys' podcast like more than I've been on my own lately, actually. And man, I've had so many good times on the Paddle and Fin podcast. Man, honestly, this probably isn't what you're expecting. Maybe it is, but we had a podcast probably like 3 times ago. I don't know what month it was. It all blurs together to me. Where we went on like a complete random tangent. I know that doesn't narrow it down, but like we went on this like crazy random tangent of like inspirational, like this whole motivational, inspirational conversation. And I remember when we ended the podcast, like we always ended it like we always do, where we end up getting like super awkward and weird with like me and Jay getting like, you know, I won't say flirtatious, but you know,
it is what it is.
You know what? You know, Jay stayed at my house, and he knows that he knows how it's into. So
yeah, okay.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to back myself into a corner. I'm just going to stop.
I think
maybe you should have.
I think you told us there was underwear missing after Jay stayed at your house.
I collect them from people who stay here. It's just
yeah. You know what's weird? I don't remember ever taking them off, but that's a whole nother like.
That's the magic. So that's the magic of my couch. It just happens. Anyway,
Yeah.
so what I was trying to say for real was we had like this one conversation that it did go where it always goes, where we just get ridiculous and stupid, like we're in a locker room. But before that, we had like this really cool, like motivational, inspirational topic we were talking about. Because I remember when we were done talking with the whole thing, and I was done, and I took my headphones off, and I sat there. I remember taking a deep breath and going, man, that was good. Like, I hope people like felt that one. And I remember that because I always remember that it was never any other podcast or any other interview I've done. It was the Paddle and Fin podcast after we got like really ridiculous and stupid as always. And I was like, man, like that was a good one. Like that was a great deep, like it felt good to get that out kind of thing. Like I hope people heard that, you know? So that was my favorite memory of the podcast, but I'll always having fun with you guys, man. I have such a blast with you guys. Like I said, it's like walking into a locker room and, you know, I've been in sports for 35 years and that's my favorite place to be at with all the guys. Like, cause it's like, there's no filter. There's no like, you know, there's no like judgments. There's nothing. You can say whatever you want and it's funny. And that's how it always is with you guys. So it's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. No, it's super cool. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. And then I think following that up, that kind of spiraled into like a 3-part series that we did with you in relation to like sponsorships and things like that. So it's kind of cool, like how it's like we always go down some kind of wormhole, right? And then that spirals into something else, and we have you back on, and it's always a good time.
I always say I talk like a roadmap, where it's like I just do one of these things, and then somehow we find out where we were again, and it usually works that way, especially with you. Like I said, there's no filter with you guys. Like a lot of interviews and podcasts I do, like they pre-screen questions and they do everything really strictly, and like, there's a lot of like structure to a lot of things, and I don't script my show, I don't script my podcast, I don't script anything I do. And I like it that way because sometimes I'm like, whoops, I shouldn't have done that. But other times I'm like, hey, that was kind of good. Like, and I like that freedom to be able to do that. And you guys always have that in your podcast. So I always like that a lot.
So that's an interesting question because we got a bunch of our hosts in here. You do a podcast as well. You do a TV show. And we've always tried to keep it like somewhat raw and more natural, right? Versus where like you're talking some of those like scripted question shows and things like that. It almost seems like it's forced, right?
Well,
like,
it's not forced. It's more of a, like, they'll give me questions like in advance and I'll be able to approve or say no, or, you know, whatever. If like there was one time I was on an interview show and, it was a TV show thing, and they brought me on as a guest to interview, and some of the questions were like super religious and political and all this stuff. And I was like, nope. I was going down the list. I'm like, I don't talk about those things. Like, I don't like dividing people for some stupid reason. Like, I don't know why it's a new thing, but I don't like dividing people. So like, I liked it for that because I got to like, I didn't have to be in that awkward moment where someone asked me a question I don't want to answer, and I have to go, no, I don't want to answer that. And then that comes off wrong. But I also don't like it because, I get to think about the answers, and it's cool in a way because like I don't think before I talk often enough, so it's kind of nice. But I like it being more raw because sometimes, like I said, sometimes you get something comes out where you're like, oh dang, that was good. Like I wouldn't have thought of that if I would have thought about it. Like that came out really well. Like I like the way that came out. It was real, and then it could have inspired you to say something that was real and raw, and you know what I mean. Like I like that feeding off each other. Liberty, you gotta stop it, girl. Okay.
Dog's like, come
Daddy's
on, bro.
on the podcast.
like I said, I just got home like 10 minutes ago, so like they're both my dogs are just like hi.
Yeah.
I like gotta leave them in a minute. But I do want to share something really cool if I have a moment here.
Do it.
We just won another Telly Award with the show, and it's very, very rare that I like brag about what we do with the show because like I just feel like I never reached those goals yet. But I wish I had it in here in my office, but it's on a shelf in the other room. But we won another Telly Award, and this one was like ridiculously special. And for those of you who don't know the Telly Awards, they've been around for almost 50 years now, and Telly is short for television. It's like it's the television awards. And we won one last year in the sports category. So general sports on television. We were going against like ESPN and HBO Sports. And I think the Florida Panthers hockey organization won an award with us too in our category. It was so cool. We won that in the general sports. So this year, as like almost kind of like a joke, my producer said, hey, we're going to try to enter into the nature and wildlife against National Geographic and Smithsonian Channel. And just see what happens. Like, don't get your hopes up. Like, it's not usually smart to jump categories, but your show is so diverse. Let's just try something. And then we won again, and we won.
That's awesome.
And we won in a category. There's 7 winners in our category out of 12,000 submissions. There's seven winners, and the other winners were National Geographic, Discovery, Smithsonian Channel. Like the ones that I was like, holy crap, we're in the same talking conversation of those. And so this one was like super special to me because it proved that we won in a second category, our second year in a row. And now next year, now we're just like, all right, now let's just put it in another category. Let's try again. Like we're going to jump into it totally. Like you're not supposed to do that because once you like, if you have a fishing show, you're in the sports category. That's it.
Sure.
Like it literally is the only category that has fishing in the subcategories. But since our show doesn't just have fishing, we have, you know, I'm editing one right now with a well-known radio host. You know, like we have such a diverse crowd in our show. So next year we're gonna try to go for like entertainment or something, or like something completely off the wall. And if a fishing show wins a Telly Award in that kind of a category, it's gonna shine a spotlight on that sport because people are gonna look at that and go, "Wait a minute, why is a fishing show in this category?" And that's what I'm hoping to do is like I'm getting like production companies and script writers and all these like people from California that are reaching out to our show now going, hey, we saw you on this list. Why? Like, why are you in this category? Like, who are you? Like, we've never heard of your show. What's going on? And then it's opened up the door for people in our sport, especially kayak fishing, which is a niche market of a niche market. It's opened up the door for people to see us. And it's just such a cool. So like it's just like this Telly Award just meant so much more. So like I don't brag a lot about accomplishments or numbers or anything like that, but this one kind of like this one feels cool, you know, because it's like this is exactly what I wanted to do 6 years ago. Is I wanted to let people know what we do is cool and why we fell in love with it and why we're such a passionate bunch. Like you look at bass boat stuff, like people aren't as passionate as we are. Like kayak fishermen are some of the most passionate category of fishermen, and I like to show people why. And once they do it once, they see it. So it's just a cool thing.
Heck yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
That's so congratulations, Mike.
Love it, Mikey.
No, thank you, man. It's my whole, honestly, like I give all the credit to my team and my guests, man. I have some of the coolest, like I've only had one guest. I make this joke a lot on interviews because it's funny to me. The only guest that I've reached out to that's turned me down is Tony Hawk. And it's because he's way out of my reach, but I message his management like every 3 months. And I'm like, new episode, and I pitch him a new idea every time. And because he's got family in Michigan and he comes here all the time. So I was like, maybe I'll catch him and maybe he'll just be like, hey, why? He opened up a new skate park in Michigan. I'm like, hey, let's showcase that. Like, I find new ways every time to pitch it. And every time his agent's like, nope, sorry, because I have no budget. I can't afford Tony Hawk.
Sure.
But other than that, every guest I've reached out to, I mean, I don't reach out for like Kid Rock. You know, I reach out for people that I think would be a good fit that would say yes. But every guest has said yes. And, you know, I've gotten so lucky with that. Like the variety of guests we had from WWE wrestlers to UFC fighters to comedians, like, and a lot of them don't live in Michigan, and they hear the idea, they see an episode, and they see what we're doing, and they believe in what we're doing, and they say yes. So like I take a lot of our credit for what we do on our show to the people we have on it, because without them, it would just be me. And I promise you, we wouldn't be doing as good if it was just me on there only, you know. And it's not called Mike McKinstry. It's called the Basquatch Hunter. It's about chasing adventures. So, you know, it's such a cool thing for our guests to be able to see that, from a professional bowler to a, you know, professional athlete. They get to see, you know, this show actually getting accolades for the work that they do to help out, you know. So I give them so much credit for it. You know, all these unique personalities.
You know,
dreams. You know, every athlete out there has chased their dreams. They had to give up the possibility of a normal corporate job and chase their dreams. They've all struggled. They all did the same thing I did later in life. And it's just cool to showcase what they do and share that with people.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So real quick, before you go,
yep.
Worst guest ever on your show.
I'm
leaving the door open for you on your show.
So it's funny because I'll answer this. And I don't care. I tell him this too. I'll actually say there's probably two, and I'll explain it real quick. So the most recent guest we had was a really famous radio host, Mojo from Mojo in the Morning. Huge deal. Like the dude's like crazy famous. He just got inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame like a month ago. Like he's huge. I'll say he's one of the worst guests, not because he's a bad person at all, but because he's scared of fish. He's a 300-pound, 6'5" man, and he was like, in all of his like, you know, his producers, like everyone warned me ahead of time, like, are you sure you want him on the show? And I'm like, yeah. What do you mean? And they're like, he's gonna be afraid to get dirty. Like he doesn't like outdoors. Like I'm like, yeah. What? Like, come on, he's a man. Like he'll be okay with that stuff. He wasn't. Like he was. I posted a picture and people thought, like a lot of his listeners were messaging me and thought it was fake. He was holding a rock bass as far as the rod would go away from him, and he was looking at his face. He was like he was so scared of it. And then when after he caught his rock bass, he goes, "Cool, we're done, right? I'm going in." Like he didn't want to be out in the water anymore. And I was like, we only filmed for an hour and a half, and anybody who out there who fishes, an hour and a half is not enough time. Like
no,
it was not enough time. And I was like, okay, I guess we're done. Like, great dude. Like, he's such a great guy. But, man, that dude was like, and he warned me. I should have listened. The other one.
Well, man, an hour and a half is like filming a TV show. God, think of how, like, normally you're cutting out hours of footage, and you only had an hour.
Like, between setup and teardown and getting everything ready, that's an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, we only had we had 45 minutes on the water. We covered like this much of our path for that day. Like, where I pre-fished the day before, and we didn't even get to those spots yet before we had to turn around. So it was crazy, but great dude. And I'm actually that episode's going through editing right now, and it's a super cool episode. We did a cool pay it forward thing together. Like, it was a great episode, but it was just definitely like the toughest thing to deal with. The other one, and I'll try to be quick here. The other one that I will say is one of the worst, and it's for the complete opposite reason. The other one I'll say is one of the worst. I got two in my head now. The fireman I just filmed with, which is probably the coolest episode I've ever done, in my opinion. I only want to say he was one of the worst because he outfished me, and he's a really good fisherman. And tips, and he was like, no, I got it. And I was like, whatever. And then he outfished me, and I was like, dude, I look like a jerk now. And like literally everything I told him to do, he kind of just like did his own thing, and he did better than I did. And I was on a lake that neither one of us have ever fished. So I was like, man, this is like made me look terrible, but at the same time, like, good show, right? Like, and then the same thing happened with God, what was the WWE wrestler guy? He outperformed me energy wise. I had to ask him to tone it down. Like, that dude, I mean, he's a WWE wrestler. Like, that's what he does. It's his life. That's who he is. And I'm like, hey man, we're not like doing a Macho Man promo. Like, we're talking about like your childhood and how you had cancer. Like, tone it down a bit, man. And he's like, all right, brother. So I had cancer. I was like, whoa, that's not how you lead that in. Dude, if you haven't seen that episode, just watch the first 20 minutes of it, even the first 10 minutes of it. Like, that dude is so, like, his personality is like 300 pounds. It's amazing. And I was like, there's a lot of times where I was like, hey, like, I like to have like tones when we're talking about certain subjects. Like, he went through childhood cancer and lost his leg, and like he had all these like crazy things we're talking about, but he said it like he was talking to Hulk Hogan. And it was so tough because I was like, man, this is like, I feel like I'm in a promo right now. Like, I'm like, so how was your family? He's like, oh, my childhood was rough, brother. And I was like, all right, that just hit weird. Like,
you're like, cut. Could you look a little more sad and talk a little lower? Maybe a pouty lip. Maybe a pouty lip.
Like, maybe I'll just put pianos in the background when I enter this. I don't know.
Yeah. Could you like do a tear, poke yourself in the eye?
Yeah. Splash some water up or something. But like, I can't say any of the guests were ever bad. They all have their challenges. But you know what's funny though? When I'm in their world, I guarantee you that when I leave, they're probably like, man, that dude was terrible. Like the wrestling thing, those guys, I felt so bad. They had a whole wrestling school there for me, and we only had it 45 minutes to teach me how to to do techniques, and I wasn't picking it up quick enough. So they're like, "Hey, let's just wing it." I'm like, "Okay, is that safe?"
Yeah, yeah, we got insurance. It's good.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
And they're like, "How far do you think we could throw this guy?"
We did full. If you watch that episode, the whole choreographed wrestling match we did in 15 minutes. Like that was what you see on camera was the first time we filmed it, and that was 15 minutes of prep. I ended up fracturing 2 ribs, and it was so painful. It hurt so bad. I had to go back.
I thought you got hit by a chair or something, right?
Yeah, the chair is what broke my ribs because we had to practice it. And he told me, he goes, "Hey, so usually when people get hit by a chair, they're big people. So the chair is not like their whole body. You're a small guy. The chair is the size of your body, so there's no room for error here. If you turn or if you bend your neck at all, we're hitting your spine, we're hitting your ribs. Like this is real." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Hit me with a chair. Like I see it on TV all the time." I'll tell you what, that was the worst decision I've made in a long time. I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." I missed my mark when he was like, "Okay, when I push the referee, that's when the chair's coming." So he pushed the referee, and it felt like it was taking too long. So I went to turn. You can see it on the episode. I turned to look at him, and then I saw the chair in full swing, and I went, "Ugh." Like I puckered up and made a weird face. But when I did that, I shrugged my shoulders and lifted up. So I turned a little bit, and the metal of the chair caught the back of my ribs and fractured 2 of my ribs. And we had to refilm a part of it because we lost audio on part of it. I was wearing a microphone, and we lost audio from all the throwing around and stuff. So I had to go back, and I had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks so I could breathe again. And I had to go back and like redo parts of it. But if you watch that episode, like those guys there at that wrestling school, that's what they do. Like that's 7 days a week they practice. And I jumped into one of those sessions, and I was like, "Man, these guys hate me." Like they were trying to teach me how to fall correctly, and I couldn't get that. I was like, then I was like, just give it up. We'll just do this. I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I feel like I should have got that down. And like the figure skating thing, like that took 2 hours for me to like learn how to not fall face first on the figure skates before we could film. Like, so as much as I want to complain about some guests being problematic, I promise you, I was way more of a hassle to every single one of them. Like every one of them was probably like, "This dude is terrible. Get him out of here."
Well, speaking of skating, dude, I know you got to roll.
Starts in 21 minutes.
Any final comments for Jay?
Yes. Jay, you sexy beast, you.
I agree.
You're like, "You know what? For the first time, I agree with him." Honestly, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on here so many times. You guys are amazing. This is by far my favorite podcast, favorite platform on the interwebs. And, you guys can have 1 viewer or 10 million viewers, and it's still my favorite one to come to because it's the realest one. And, I've met a lot of people that have been on here in person, and everyone is so real in person too. It's the same thing you see on camera, and that's what I love. So thank you guys for having me on, and thank you everybody on here for everything you guys do too. And there's a whole screen full of rock stars on here, so I really appreciate being on here.
Appreciate it, Mikey.
Thanks,
good, brother. Man. Keep up the good work, bud.
Thank you, man.
I still want to go salmon fishing with you.
Come up. So I'm doing it September. The last episode that aired, the one that just went on YouTube, was the one where I took my girlfriend to the west side of Michigan for the first time. That was supposed to be a salmon fishing episode. Like we talked about it during the episode, and if you pay attention, you'll catch like little spots where we're like, "Yeah, we're going salmon fishing," but we didn't catch any salmon, so it turned into a pike episode. But this year, the same guy is taking us out, and we're doing it earlier. Like we're doing it the right time of the year this time, so we'll have salmon this year. If you want to come,
are you doing the Muskegon River?
No, Pure Marquette.
Pure Marquette, because the Muskegon was loaded with them in the fall.
So this dude was catching them. Do you know Steve Crooks from Water Dog Outfitters? Do you know him, Jay? Okay.
I just happened to stumble upon all those salmon out in the Muskegon River being out there.
Okay, yeah. Water Dog Outfitters is a big retail shop on the west side of Michigan, and this dude catches salmon from kayaks all the time. He was out the week before we filmed and caught like 7 salmon in the kayak. The day we went out, it got so warm that day that the salmon were just like, "See ya," and they went back to the main lake. So we had to switch to pike last minute. So this year we're going to do it again. Same guy, same location. We're just going to do it right. But if you want to come up for salmon, we'll do that one. We'll do Tippy Dam. Tippy Dam is like guaranteed you'll pull in, 30 inches. But if you want to come up for salmon, like anybody ever wants to come out fishing, I always tell everybody, just message me. If we're filming an episode, you can be in it. Like, come on in. Like, I could care less. It's just the more people, the more fun, the more fish. So,
and I would say too, so over there by Newaygo, but the Muskegon, dude, they are jumping out of the water and they are gigantic.
Yeah. Oh,
they're massive.
Oh yeah, and Manitowoc, you'll see them jumping out of the water too.
And it's shallow though. Like these guys can walk across. and they'll be using. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, you can walk like across the whole river there.
Yeah, that's
and they're
cool.
right out there.
Do you guys see the background, by the way?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
That is the cool. That is so
That's the
sick.
episode that's airing in like a month and a half. The mural artist Zach Curtis. He did this in the episode as a gift.
You got a
to the
mural
show.
of Jay behind you?
I know.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Luckily, you guys can see the full body I had painted of him below it.
Oh god.
Yeah. Strangely enough, that's a really better rendition of me than I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's less hairy than I remember you actually.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, on that note,
no shortage of weird here.
I gotta play goalie in 15 minutes, and I'm not even to the rink, obviously. So,
all right, Mikey, we'll see you, brother.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks,
Hey,
man.
Mike.
Dude.
Thank you, brother.
Take care, Mike.
All right, first new rule: never again.
Never again what? So the whole reason I asked him who was the worst guest, I was hoping he would get the hint
Yeah.
and say you, but
That was
he
a soft
went
guy,
down
man.
a whole different spiral.
You know what? I like talking to him, so I usually talk on his podcast. So,
Oh, damn. So I think leave it in the comments and hit us
Yeah.
up. I think that we should talk Mike into letting Paddle and Finn take over an episode.
I like it. I like it. I
Like,
like it.
I would gladly we should all converge on one location and
Yes.
hang out with him. That'd be fun.
Bask watching Finn.
There you go.
I like it. Well, let's go around the table here because we're still waiting for one more guest. We'll start with Sean and go to not Jay Randall, then the Queen, then Jay Randall, and then Armando. Favorite memory, man. Podcast, could be a guest, could be one of our trips, whatever, man. Just share it up, man.
For me, it's easy. It's getting to hang out with you
I
guys.
hit the wrong button, Sean. I hit the wrong button. Start over.
And
I tried to do the solo layout, and I removed you from the stream. So
Hey,
sorry.
no worries, no worries. No, I was gonna say mine's easy. It's just getting to hang with all you guys at Dale Hollow. We have a great group, and the camaraderie that we share. When we get to just chat like this is awesome, but doing it in person and getting to hang with you guys is far and away the best experience that I've had doing this podcast. So, and that's not to overstate anything else that I've done, because talking to some of the guests I've talked to, like Jody Queen and some of the big names in our sport, is amazing. But truly the most fun and the best times I've had has been when getting to be in person with all of you guys, and you are like a second family to me, and I truly appreciate it. So,
Love it, brother. Love it. Love it. Mr. Not Jay Randall.
Same question. So it's a couple of small parts. My first take on how podcasting would go, the first episode I was ever on before I was part of it, Brian couldn't get my name right. And I'll never forget that. He called me the wrong name for a solid, I think, 10 minutes before whoever the other host
What
was
did I
corrected
call
him.
you?
What
He
name
called
did he call you? Yeah.
He was either calling me James or Jamie or something like that. And I was just letting it roll. And someone called you, I think it was Gibson, was like, his name's Jimmy. But probably favorite podcasting memory is like my very first episode. I got to talk to the person in kayak fishing that I've admired the most. Greg Blanchard was my very first episode. So I don't know. I didn't really know how it'd get better from that. But favorite overall paddle and fin memories, got to go to Milford, Dale Hollow.
Oh, man, that was going to be mine.
Big old bottle of I think that could be a few of our I was surprised Sean didn't say it, because Sean was a big part of that memory. Brian was a huge part of that memory.
Oh,
me and Jay, though, I feel like we had great seats to most of that.
And I walked away from a seat, but that's a whole nother
He missed a seat.
Yeah, he missed the seat, so there's that.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's it though. That just showed how we all can let go when we're around each other, like family, like we've said, and then we all took care of each other. I mean, Brian.
We all took care of Ryan.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. So
I miss
we-
Ryan. It's always good to see him, dude. It was good to
Absolutely.
see him down at Dale Hollow this last trip.
Oh yeah, finally
Absolutely.
catching him some fish too.
Yeah, he did good.
Susie.
I actually have a couple of different favorite memories. The first one would definitely be first being asked to be a guest on the podcast.
Wait. I gotta take you out of solo mode because me and Jay hounded you and you didn't want to get on, and then you were like, that was a lot of fun. I want to do that again. Okay, continue.
It was awesome.
My second favorite would definitely be you guys asking me if I wanted to do my own segment. I was like, yeah, yes, yeah, no, yeah. That was definitely awesome. And then definitely my favorite memory with all y'all. First favorite memory was the first year I was down Dale Hollow with you guys last year. The hot tub and then water slide.
That was so much fun.
Oh my god! I just remember Titus. He's at the other end of the world. What's up?
He's like, I know how you white people are.
Oh my god! Yes, that was the best, dude.
I knew what was up, and he was just way at the other end of the boat.
Oh my
He's
god!
like, I'm the smallest guy.
Rowdy.
I'm not getting thrown down the slide.
Yeah. As soon as it started getting rowdy, he was gone, and for a few minutes, I don't even think we noticed, but he was already prepared.
Dude, he had shell shock, man. I was like, he went to a different mode. I was like, what's going on? He was, and I was like, is he kidding? Is he kidding? No, he's serious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then this year, definitely for sure, because Adam came with me, and hearing how he yelled at Brian.
That was so funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, Adam's a really quiet, chilled out, really relaxed dude, and he just came storming out of his bedroom like, turn the TV down, I'm trying to sleep. And I was like, holy crap, dude. I'm gonna sleep with one eye open. I might get shanked tonight or something. But good stuff, man.
But
Armando. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Susie. Go ahead.
She's like, shut up, Susie. We're going on to the next one.
I thought she was done.
Well, no, I just have one other thing that I definitely want to say out there too. It's definitely been awesome to be able to be myself and feel comfortable around all these dudes. At first, when I started getting to know you guys, I was like, I don't know, are they gonna judge me or have these great expectations of me being a chick or whatever? Then I'm just like, oh no, they're just like every other person. They're awesome. So it's
you're just one of the dudes, Susie.
I was fixing to say we all look at her as one of the guys, and you saying, do we have expectations? If you know any of us, that is absolutely not true. Bottom of the expectation list is how we roll. So anything you give more than that.
Yeah.
Susie's like the mom we wish we had, where she just she won't tell you to stop, but she'll look at you and be like, all right, you're being an idiot. It's okay.
That lets me know I haven't done enough yet, because I haven't seen that yet. Because I was going to say that she's like the mom. She's like, we all had that best friend whose mom didn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, do what you do.
Exactly.
Just don't do drugs at my house. That was kind of how it was, That's Susie.
Yeah.
Well, Susie will say stuff audibly that I'm thinking in my head, which is funny. So I'll be restrained, and then she'll just belt it off, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad somebody said it."
A great example of that. Nobody that's listening will get this, but Susie shared the dash cam footage from the guy almost running into her, and everything she just blurted out. I was explaining why. I was like, that is what I think of when I think of Susie. She just goes off.
Oh, I love it. let's get Armando. Favorite moment, favorite guest, whatever, brother.
Ah man, so
I
many.
know you got a lot.
I do. I mean, as far as moments, fishing with Jimmy on the Bass Nation Kayak Series at Lake Fork, that was cool. I think either him or Dustin was the first actually paddle and fin host that I've able to meet in person. And I know we both had a tough tournament, and afterwards we kind of picked each other up. Kind of like going through the grind of. But I learned a lot from
Amen to that.
fishing.
That tournament sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. It was a tough tournament, but it was a great memory just to be there. That was my first national tournament, so be able to have a familiar first like Jimmy. I mean, like Jay. No, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Was pretty awesome, and I was glad to, get to meet Jimmy. I also first time I fished with Dustin, I found out why they call him Doodoo. Dustin, and if you don't know why they call him Doodoo, there's a long story, but basically he talked me into going to this lake, and it was like about 2-hour drive for me, but it was a 7-hour drive for him. And we got there at 6 a.m. Turns out the park doesn't open until 7 a.m. So we got there an hour earlier. And I'm thinking in my mind, God damn, this guy drove 7 hours to get here, find out he can sleep another hour. But while we were talking, it was still dark, and he does something that I don't have the guts to do, which is going to the wild where you can't see pitch black to go to the bathroom. And I didn't know what he was doing, but like he brought some breakfast burritos and it started kicking in. So we're waiting for that gate to open, and I'm like, kind of embarrassed, but Justin, I gotta go. This is like, don't go to that spot over there. Do not go to that spot. And I found out that's why they call him Doodoo. But it was fun. I had, I think, a fond memory of talking to you and Jay. Man, that was when I was still doing my own thing in Bass Kayak and Beers, and I was struggling with the whole pandemic thing. People stopped listening to podcasts. And I thought my numbers dropped dramatically. And I was like, I didn't know anything about it. I had just been like 3 months into the podcast. And I remember calling you when you were driving with Jay. I had to meet Jay at that time. And both of you, we talked you had like a long drive, and we talked for like 2 hours over the phone.
Yeah,
and
I think we were on our way to Tennessee or something. Maybe,
something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you both kind of picked me up and kind of told me, hey, don't worry about it. It's a pandemic. Paddle and Fin is going through the same thing. Everybody's going through the same thing. Once things get normalized, your numbers should come back up. And so I'm very grateful for both of you for that, because that kind of like, I was at the verge of just quitting. I'm like, screw it. Nobody's listening. Numbers keep going down as the episodes keep going up. So I was like, might as well just quit. But so again, grateful to both of you. And also, Susie was my first interview that really focused more on life struggles and how kayak fishing helps out on certain, on kind of like unplugging yourself from your, the everyday's, stress. And so that kind of turned around my whole, the whole way I do the podcast, where it was more of, not every episode is like that, but it's a conversation that I really enjoyed, because natural conversation. I never had a guest at that point open up like Susie did and talk about her struggles. And if you don't mind me, just mentioning that, Susie. And I remember, Brian, I think that would have catapulted me to come back to actually become a host in Paddle and Fin. I think you listened to that episode and you called me and you thought it was awesome the way the conversation went. And I think from that we developed a relationship where eventually, I got invited to be in Paddle and Fin. So, I mean, I think that's some of the best moments that I can think of. But again, every moment, spent with you guys, every good time. Sean's been my guest. Matt Souter was another great episode. I think that was the first one where it focused on PTSD. And I know I got a lot of feedback from Matt Souders, and I don't know if Matt knows it, and I don't know if I ever got a chance to tell Matt, but he really helped out a lot of people on that episode. I had quite a few messages from people that suffer from PTSD that reach out to me thanking me for that episode. And I think the guys you have to thank is Matt. Matt Souders did a great interview and really touched on that. And that's one of my, I think one of the episodes I'm most proud of.
Love it,
So,
dude.
yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome. Yep.
Well, we got one guest in here, and hopefully we got one more, but I don't want to keep him hanging, and we'll get to Jay's after this. But this is the goofy Matt. This is the goofiest Matt I know. So I think he's getting in his truck. Well, he's settled in. The man responsible for everybody on Paddle and Fin fishing a tube bait. How you doing? I know you just got off the water, man. You were fishing in a boat tournament. How'd it go?
A little rough tonight, but I tell you, those damn kayakers won't get out of the way. No, we ended up winning the critter pot with a over 5 pound drum and a few pounds short of the money. So I actually lost a few on the tube that probably could have helped us. So.
Well, looks like you might have to go back and re-listen to your episode with Sean on how to fish the tube bait. I just remember, like, was Ryan still with you guys when you guys did that episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, because Ryan's been fishing the tube nonstop.
Absolutely.
Like,
he won't put it down.
Yeah, you guys did that episode, and it was like the whole Paddle and Fin group that is like, what tubes were those? Oh, check this out. I just caught this one on a tube. Just caught this one on a tube. Like, you're the king of tube baits now.
Yeah, it's a tremendous bait, man. It really is.
Has Danny from Secret Lures given you your cut yet?
Not yet. I probably ought to shoot him an email.
Yeah, I would. You probably got quite a bit of money stacked up there, buddy.
Danny's a great guy, and love helping those smaller companies like that. And Danny and those guys. I know you guys don't like swearing, but on the podcast, but they really work their ass off. So they're a good group.
This is the birthday party, so anything goes. So
oh, really?
to an extent. All the dirty stuff was already said between Jay and Mike McKinstry. So
not surprised.
Not surprised.
Yeah,
should have been on time, Jay. Should have been on time.
Yep. Well,
So share with us, man, your favorite memory, your thought, or experience with Paddle and Fin, brother.
Oh man, it's been awesome to see you guys grow over the years. I mean, you guys have tremendous hosts. I mean, I think of guys like Brad Hicks. I've never met him in person, messaged him multiple times, and I feel like he's a buddy of mine. Met you, Brian, through Paddle and Fin. Sean, I send messages to him every once in a while, and Jay. So I mean, it's been awesome to get to know you guys, and I've met very few of you in person, but man, what a great group you guys have there.
The ones that haven't met you in person are very fortunate.
They're welcome.
This is how a typical phone conversation goes between me and Mr. Gibson, aka Greatness, as he likes to call himself.
No. Let's get it straight. When I call, you answer Greatness.
No, it's always fun, man, and obviously you've been around the block quite a while, and in the kayak fishing space, you help run IKA, Indiana Kayak Anglers, and stuff like that, man. And it's always been cool to bounce ideas off each other, hear your insight on some things when you hop on shows, and you've always helped me out. Through all kinds of stuff, man. So it's super good, and I'm super grateful for you.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day, Brian. Like, I feel like, and some people might not know this reference, but I feel like the Norm Macdonald on Conan. when a guest wouldn't show up on Conan, he would call it Norm McDonald. I kind of feel like you're Norm McDonald, man.
Yeah.
and I mean that in the best way. It's always fun. It's always great. We talk about a subject and then we just kind of wing it. And it's always been fun, and that goes for all of it. Sean's show is great. I love listening to that show. Actually, people that aren't even into kayak fishing, I tell them, I was like, man, you have to listen to this dude Sean's show. It's tremendous and it'll help you out. I listen to Armando's, listen to obviously OG show and Jimmy's show. So you guys are doing great work. Keep it up. And man, being somebody in the kayak kind of kayak space, I've always had tremendous respect for you guys and really appreciate all that you guys do for kayak fishing and fishing in general, because you guys do an excellent job. So you guys should be very proud of that.
Right on, man. I think
it.
I'm going to cry now.
Well, and thanks for what you do, man, too. Because even when we talked about crankbaits and you were talking about how you collect the old crankbaits, and you're a true fan of the sport, and it shows in every way you talk about it. So appreciate what you do too, man.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
And they also help you out if you happen to, break your T-bone bed extender on a.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I had that for you. That was awesome.
That was awesome. You guys saved my butt.
Very cool, brother. Well, we'll let you finish up at the weigh-in there, man, and we appreciate you jumping on for a few minutes just to say hey and share a couple stories, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The White River, the Tippecanoe River is coming up for IKA. Come out and fish it. Anybody, everybody. It's a great time. They're two great rivers. We don't have any membership fees. Come fish with us, man. Let's have a good time.
That White River, man, he ain't lying.
Yep, it's awesome.
Oof.
Well, and you caught a giant on that Tippecanoe event that we held there last year, right?
Yeah.
It was like a 20-something, right?
Yeah, I think it was 20 and a quarter or 20 and a half.
Smallmouth.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, small. River smallmouth too. So yeah.
Makes it even better.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good job on your smallmouth, Jimmy. That's awesome, man.
I appreciate it,
congrats,
man.
Jimmy.
I hate we didn't get any better pictures of it, but it had been rough. We were hype, and I really wanted to get it back in the water because, it took a minute to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. It doesn't look all that huge in the picture, but 20 inches, and it was my buddy guarantees it was a 4-pounder, and he's the guy I would trust on calling a weight because I'd be wrong, but it was awesome.
Yeah, anytime you get that 20 inch category, you're really doing something with smallmouth, so you should be proud of it, man. Good job.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. We'll go collect your junk fish money. And since
what did you call it? The critter pot?
The critter pot.
Dude, that's sick. I want to try to get those in our kayak tournaments. That's cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So.
Well, since you're not showing up to ICAST and you won the critter pot, just send me $10 for breakfast the first morning.
Oh, dude, that breakfast spot is the spot.
Hey, I'm going to be hitting it up, and I'm going to text you every single morning the picture of my breakfast because you ain't coming. So just saying.
I'm excited.
Be ready. Be ready.
Yeah. Yes, it's good, man. And actually, it's funny you mentioned food. I had tacos on the way up today.
Oh, nice. So I always go down and work the Indiana show when it's going on, and Matt's like, I gotta take you to this taco place, and it's like right around the corner, and it's like this small little hut, but like there is always at least 20 people standing in line waiting for tacos, and I'm like, is it really this good? And he's like, oh yeah, trust me. So for 2 weekends straight, we pretty much were on a Paco's Tacos diet. And anytime I go back to Indianapolis, like that's the spot. That is the spot.
Breakfast and lunch. They have a killer breakfast.
Oh, the breakfast was phenomenal, man.
Yep.
Ham and eggs, tacos. Oh, dude, it was phenomenal.
It keeps you fueled for the whole day, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That is for sure, especially when you're spending 10 hours standing on concrete a day, you know?
Right.
So, all right, brother. We'll talk to you. Thanks again, man.
All
We'll
right,
see you
thank
soon.
you, guys.
See you, man.
See you,
All right,
man.
guys.
All right, Mr. Randall. You were the last one up.
Best for last.
Favorite story, episode, guest, you name it. What is it?
Well, first of all, I got a rep to upkeep, so I don't want to say too much. I'm gonna keep it to 10 words. Wait, did I already go over? Oh, does the sound count? Oh,
Fail.
Yeah, you're over. You're over already.
Oh well, I guess I'll wing it. Actually, I don't like any of you, and I don't even know why you guys keep me around. It's just, it's such a bore being around you guys, and I hate fish. Fishing sucks. I don't even know why. So, I mean, I don't even really like the woods. I think, Brian, I was just there for support. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Kayaks, they're silly. I don't like kayaks. They're dumb. I'd rather be like in a boat, with a big motor,
Or on his little mountain bike.
Some power poles. Like, I don't even like mountain bikes. Mountain bikes suck. I mean, they're stupid. I mean, it's like podcasts suck. I mean, I don't even know why I'm on this thing. It's so dumb. But no, all kidding aside, no, everything sucks. No, no, no. I mean, I would say, Dale Hollow, just being around everybody was a lot of fun. It's there's so many, funny things have happened over the few times we've all been together, and just the interaction, even with the people like the extension of us, like John Rapp and Graves, and everyone else that we've been around. It's always been a good time. It's always fun. As Jimmy said, you can just be yourself. You don't have to. I mean, if anyone even knows, like, as you see us on here, this is the way we are. I know I'm a total idiot, and I'm cool with it. But I mean, it's like, it's just a good time, man. Just get to let loose and do whatever you want, and I don't know, that's what it's for, right? I mean, it's as the group, and this is why this group exists, is everyone's been handpicked because of certain aspects of themselves that we knew would mesh with the rest. So, I mean, as the team was built, there was always something in mind, and we knew that there was something all these people could bring to the table and would just mesh like just extremely well. And that's all this is, really. I mean, it's basically just a bunch of friends having a good time, and everybody's got their own thing. Again, we tell everybody, it's your show, right? So what is he doing?
He's driving. So I muted his mic for now. I muted your mic for now.
Yeah. I was right in the middle. You know what? I take back everything I just said. Like, I don't like Matt at all. Get him off here. No.
I'm gonna mute your mic for a second, Matt. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I muted your mic for a second, so just hold on. We'll get to you next. Let Jay finish. This is what it is. It's always organized chaos amongst this group of folks.
I don't even think organized is part of it. It's just chaos.
And what I was saying before, I don't know how the hell we got mad on the damn thing. That's got to be talked about. But but no, I mean, like I said, it's everything has been fun. It's all good. Matt is another. I don't know why we didn't have him on before. He was on before. He was fishing. No, I mean, not today. I mean, like, as a host, like, before we did everything.
Sure.
I mean, he's just a great addition to it too. He fits right in. Yeah, I know. So he's like, oh, but no, I mean, like I said, it's always been fun. It'll continue to be fun, and I look forward to more interactions on the water and off the water, but just not with Ryan.
I think Jay just set a new record for the most he's talked in one podcast.
No, and it was all good. Like, you got a little taste that he's part of what happens behind the scenes, like talking about handpicking everybody and stuff. Like, that was good. I liked it.
So what a lot of people don't know is adding these different shows and stuff can be a lot of accredited mostly to Jay. That was kind of Jay's brainchild, and a lot of people think it was mine. And him and I had a long conversation when Jay came on to the podcast and stuff, and it was like, how can we make this bigger? How can we make it grow? How can we reach more people and help grow the kayak fishing world and kayaking in general and things like that? And Jay's like, well, we should collaborate, like be a bigger organization. And then we started spitballing ideas off of that, and a lot of that was kind of Jay's brainchild. So well,
thank you, Jay.
There you go.
We would all not exist if it was not for you.
Oh shucks.
Oh
shucks.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say it now before we get mad on Matt. Go pull over somewhere.
Yeah, tell him to roll up his windows and turn on the air.
I think he's better now. So
yeah,
Matt.
It's a green screen. I'm actually.
We can
roll
hardly
up your
hear
windows.
You.
Roll up your windows.
Believe me, they're rolled up.
Really? Oh, is that just your hot air?
Oh, he's pulling over.
He doesn't even have cold air.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Favorite? You're the youngest member of the group, right? Like you were the most recent addition.
He's the baby.
So, and I know you've been following Paddle and Fin for a long time. You've been friends with a lot of the guys that have been on the podcast from Ohio, and always been a huge supporter. Brad
Hicks' better half.
I agree with that. Well, no. That takes away from his wife. His wife is way cooler. But
he doesn't watch anything, so it's fine.
Onker. But what's a favorite show, memory, guest, anything for you, man?
I think one of the best memories is the first show I was on with Armando. Just going over, yeah.
He mentioned it earlier. When you weren't on here.
Yeah, I mean, that was cool because it kind of, like, I got to explain why, because everyone will ask, oh, where do you fish or what do you fish for? But like, not why you fish. So that was pretty cool to explain that. And then I wasn't part of Paddle and Fin last year, but Dale Hollow last year was a blast.
Yeah.
It was awesome. This year was a blast too, but last year was eye-opening to how fun it can be when the shine starts pouring.
And just to piggyback of what Matt said, in case he didn't hear when it was my turn to talk about it, like, Matt, you help out a lot of people. Like, I got a lot of messages from people that went through similar situations, and they were like grateful for the episode. And I told them, like, all credit goes to Matt for coming up and talking. So yeah, I don't know if I've ever had the chance to tell you that, but you did help out a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I never knew that, and that's awesome. Especially from the vet side of it, it's cool that whenever we can have somebody that we're able to. So, yeah,
I think we lost the audio, Matt.
It's going in and out.
It's going in and out.
I'm driving. I'll tell you, it sucks.
He's in the Ohio mountains.
Yeah, that's what. The Ohio hills.
Is that a banjo playing in the background?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go because somebody's being stupid, and I don't want to have a witness. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Wait, stay on, please.
Yeah, we want to do this live.
Does the word viral mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too old to care about that. See anything, I can do more.
Right on, man. We'll get home safe. Thanks for hopping on, man, and thanks for doing what you do, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks for welcoming me with open arms to the Paddle and Fin crew. I love it here.
Love it, bro. Love
All
it.
right.
Be
See
safe,
you,
bro. Oh man. Whew. Well, I guess it's time to wind this down. We've been going about an hour and 45 minutes. Epic, another year of podcast, awesome content, awesome growth. Everybody that's listening, that's new to Paddle and Fin, this year, or whether you're a longtime listener, we definitely appreciate you guys. You're the reason why we do this, and keeps us going and brings us back. And it's always nice to, get those heartfelt messages and emails and Instagram messages, Facebook messages saying, this show helped me out or that show helped me out, like Armando's talking about with his interview with Matt, whether it be a life situation, a fishing situation, whatever it is, and we're just a big, happy, goofy family.
Dysfunctional, unorganized.
Yeah. So
before we wind down too far, just because you've been asking all the questions, what's your best memories?
What?
Oh, that's right.
You don't get to just ask the questions, man.
I've got a second question for a follow-up for Brian too, since he's like the king of Paddle and Fin.
So honestly, my favorite show is always going to be the first episode ever, because that's where it all started. If we would have never recorded that first episode, I wouldn't be sitting here with some of the coolest people on the planet. So huge shout out to Scott Olson, who we started the podcast with, aka the Godfather, who called me right before we started this, and I saw him last night and over the weekend, and he always asks what's going on with the podcast, where we're at, and he's absolutely floored by what Paddle and Fin has become. And that's one thing he's like, I couldn't keep up. I wasn't into it like you were and Jay was, and it's pretty remarkable to see what we've kind of turned this into. And I recently have talked to a few people throughout the industry. One was a kayak shop owner, one was another owner of a company, and I kind of got taken back during those phone calls because they were like, Paddle and Fin has become the standard in the industry, which is kind of mind blowing to me, because I don't look at it like that. I just look at it as we're trying to help some folks out, have a good time on the water, or encourage them to get outdoors or catch a bigger fish or a new PB, or just have some success on the water and not give up, so they continue staying outdoors, is the way I've always looked at it. That's always been the most important thing to me. And like we've all talked about tonight, like we have this second family of brothers and sisters all together. Jay, you're petting your pussy on a live podcast.
Hey, it's a boy. Watch your mouth. It's a boy.
Which definitely threw me off there, because I looked down and I was like, what's going on?
Dude, he's getting into so much crap. I had to pick him up. Like, crazy.
But
I literally just typed that in the private
oh,
chat.
did you? I didn't even see it. But that, I mean, if I have to be honest, like it's that first episode ever. And then like anytime I get to spend any kind of time with any one of the folks that work with Paddle and Fin or huge supporters of Paddle and Fin, if I could spend a day on the water, a phone conversation, whatever it is, man, I'm super grateful and so happy to have a support system, and I've said this to, I think, all you guys individually, and I've said it on podcasts before, like there's times where I hit a wall and I'm like, why do I do this? Like, I'm just done, and it's like, what's the point of continuing it on? And then all of a sudden it's like people know, and a message pops up in the email, or I get a private Facebook message like, hey man, like, appreciate what you guys do, keep up the good work and things like that. And that's what keeps me going, along with all you guys, you know what I mean? Because it is a ton of work. But I'm just super grateful for the opportunity for the group that we have here, and the continued growth and support by the actual kayak community. And now, the actual industry is starting to recognize and help support us and help promote us, which is super cool. I look at us like, whether people like this reference or not, like we're the next Guggen squad. You know what I mean? Is the way I look at it. Like a bunch of creators who have come together and we're starting to create this empire. You know what I mean? Which is super cool.
Well,
And
they were all broke at first, so we've got that covered.
Yeah, we definitely have that covered. That covered. But it's cool to see, because it's that old saying I remember hearing in grade school, like two brains is better than one, and we have 14 brains here, and we're always
that's
throwing
arguable.
Ideas. And well, fine.
All of them for 14 combined to one, probably.
Yeah. So yeah.
One day.
Yeah. I was gonna give us a little more credit and say maybe 6 combined, but you guys know what I mean. So, but it's one of those things, man. It's cool because, like, in our group chats and stuff like that, like our meetups, like we're always bouncing ideas off each other, whatever it may be, and it's all for the greater good of the sport that we all love, which is fishing and kayak fishing. So super cool, super grateful, and looking forward to the big 5th birthday.
That's got to be a blowout. We gotta have a party.
Blowout.
Wait a minute, is this not the 5th?
No, this is the 4th.
Oh, because we're in the 5th season? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're in the 5th season because the first season was only I think like 8 months or something like that.
Oh.
And then when we started to grow, we went to season 2. Or no, that's what it was. We started the second season when we started to grow, which was a year after we started. And then we just started new seasons at the first of the year, or the beginning of every year. So that's how it kind of got thrown off a little bit. So we're 4 years old, but we're on season 5 in the podcast. So what was the follow-up question, not Jay Randall?
I just I'll ask you first, and then you can lead us into closing out like you always do. But where do you see this moving? Like, obviously, you can give us a full answer for 10 years from now, but more specifically, like, what do you want out of it for next year? This next season. Just in general, like, what do you think we got coming?
Obviously, we've announced it since the Dale Hollow event last year, but definitely have that going on down at Eastport next year. Podcast wise, I see more growth. There's been a few conversations had, maybe some possible other segments that are kind of not necessarily kayak fishing related, but fishing and outdoor related. So it's just continuing to expand on what we're doing, and we'll see what happens at ICAST. That's all I can say.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So,
you going down there, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've got one more detail to work out, but it looks like I'm going to go down there and run around for a few days. And I told Brian my whole goal is I'm really good with PR stuff, and I mean I don't meet strangers. I usually leave with new friends. So
nice.
It's time for, Paddle and Fin's grown so much, in my opinion, and I'm not a decision maker for Paddle and Fin at all, but I think it's time to the rest of us take it a little more seriously, and I want more people in the industry to take us seriously. So if I can make a few connections, maybe outside of the box of what everybody else is trying to do, because like Brian made a good point when we were talking about it earlier, is like, some places their marketing goes, when you have like a marketing agent, they bring you deals with like toothpaste companies and chips or just whatever, but you're wanting to be like covered by Strike King and Z-Man and bull crap like that. And he made a really good point. He was like, yeah, well, the big money players aren't wanting to put their money in places like this. They're looking at TV. He was like, it's the other stuff that really supports you and gets you there. So it kind of changed my outlook on what I'm wanting to do when I'm down there. So it'll definitely be more business trip, which that's what ICAST is. I mean,
Yeah.
people compare ICAST to SHOT Show. I mean, it's the SHOT Show of the fishing world, Blade Show, but you're not buying anything. I mean, you're making, if you're a retailer, you're making your deals for the year down there, but from the media standpoint, which is what I'll be going under, it's just the connections, try to get people interested in us and vice versa.
It's a marketing networking extravaganza.
Hell yeah.
I believe Armando is the only host I've never met in person.
Really? Oh, well, that's going to change in ICAST, hopefully.
I know. So
Anybody else going?
I'm going to run.
Kind of last minute.
We're gonna have Jimmy hold the camera, and we're gonna run at each other, and it'll be in slow motion. I'm gonna jump into your arms, and you're gonna hold
crush
me.
Armando.
And
I told Brian. I told Brian, hey, can we, share, where we're gonna stay, and I told him I'll let you be Little Spoon, and he's like, I'm sold. Come over.
Oh boy!
I'm so glad I'm staying somewhere else.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys down there, and a lot of other familiar faces as well. It's super cool, and just looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to continuing to grow together, and we'll make the best of the podcast that we can, and keep doing it for you guys out there listening, watching, and all that good stuff, man.
Maybe we can get in a Paddle and Fin episode while we're down there.
Yeah, there will be many Paddle and Fin episodes.
We'll have to steal a booth somewhere.
Just a quick shout out to those companies that do support us and stand by us. One of them's been in the chat all night, Mr. Richard DeVries from Eastport Marina, down there on Dale Hollow, Tennessee. They host us every year. Everybody that comes to that event just absolutely loves it. I forget how many different states people came in from last year. It was quite a bit, wasn't it, Susie?
It was closer to 10
or 11, I think. And it's always a fantastic time. Thanks to Richard and his whole crew down there at Eastport Marina. Huge thanks to them. Huge thanks to Yak Gadget, John Thomas. He's always on the podcast. He was just on this week with, or actually today, with Brad and Matt on the final cast. And he always helps out. Pelican, coolers, cases, lighting, Jig Masters. I'm sure there's a couple more out there that I may be missing, but Rocktown Adventures, folks like that, man. It's these small companies that help boost us, and they're always talking about us to new folks coming into the industry or into the sport, and it's super cool, and we're super grateful to have those partnerships with those folks, man. So couldn't do it without them. So huge thank you to them. And Susie, final thoughts, and then we'll go to Armando, Sean, Jay, and not Jay.
Oh man. Final thoughts. How do I want to say this? I feel bad in one sense, but I've also been busy with other things about not doing my own segment and whatnot for quite a while now. I do want to get started back up, but I've got some ideas on what avenue I want to chase. So just hoping that I can, get myself kickstarted and everything, but I may not be as visible out there with shows and stuff and whatnot. I still love being a part of this group, helping these guys out with whatever I can, keeping them entertained in the in the group chats with random stuff and my dash cam videos. It's great. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where Paddle and Fin goes. Not just for Brian's sake or Sean's or Jay's or whoever. It's for everybody's sake, and then for the kayak fishing sake of just everything. I hope that because we are now this foundation of kayak fishing podcast. We're
Awesomeness.
the premier one. We're the legit one, the serious one. There's other ones out there that try to kind of compete with us, but they ain't got nothing on us. It's really awesome to see how far we've grown, and really looking forward to see where we go. So,
love it. Armando,
Well said.
Poppy,
Man, just
Puppy.
amor.
Just don't make me blush. Save that for
You already are.
Save that for ICAST, Brian.
Okay.
No, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to hang out with, first of all, see Brian, Big Papi, as I call him, in person finally. In ICAST, see Jimmy. Now that I know that Jimmy's going, that's going to be awesome too, hanging out with Jimmy again. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what we can do in ICAST. And I'm glad Jimmy's coming, and I'm super excited to pick his brain. Because I think Brian, you and I talked about it. We're going with the same intention. Yeah, I know Brian has to do a lot with New Canoe and stuff like that. So be able to have Jimmy helping out, and me helping Jimmy is I think it's going to be great. And I'm excited to see. That's going to be my first experience, kind of on the business side of it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward.
Did you real quick? Did you ever go to Walt Disney as a kid?
Yes, so I think it's going to be the Walt Disney for now.
Yeah, when you walk in, you're going to be like, ah.
So I did not as a kid because we was broke folks. So I am extremely excited to experience that moment.
Well, you went to a water
pissed
park
because
or
I
something,
can't
right?
buy anything. Yeah, but that's not the same.
All right. Sorry, Armando. Sorry.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
good. But yeah, no, and excited to for the next guest and all that. I do kind of shameless plugging. I do have a recording tomorrow if everything works out with Frank Twiggy Reed. And I think it's going to be an interesting episode. He just went through the bad news of having cancer, and he just went through surgery, and now he's cancer free. And everybody that knows Frank Twiggy Reed and the life previous to him kayak fishing, it's a very interesting story that he can tell. So that's going to be a great episode. That should be coming out this Tuesday if we don't have to reschedule for tomorrow's episode. But other than that, I mean, just looking forward to hanging out with you guys, seeing if I can make Eastport Marina next year, and just anything that I know that Brian and Jay have in store for us as far as leading us to the next chapter in Paddle and Fin. Man, I'm here for it. I'm here to support every one of you.
Okay, I did say that it was Jay's idea for the network, but other than that, since then he's been just
he's a one-hit wonder, dude.
I'm kidding. Let's go over to Sean.
First, I wanted to give you a couple shout outs to the folks from the team that weren't on tonight, like Brad, Chris, DP, Dudu. Missed you guys tonight, but you're just as big a part of the family as all of us. So love you guys and keep doing what you're doing. Also wanted to give a shout out to Brian and Susie and Jay for all the back stuff that nobody ever sees. I know just doing the noobs tournament in the background, judging fish and all that, it's a ton of work, and that's the stuff nobody sees, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes for that kind of stuff. And Armando and Brian for uploading the shows and getting that stuff all up and taken care of. So just props to you guys. You make my job way easier, and couldn't do it without you guys. So totally thank you for that. As far as what's coming for me and the new show, I'm super excited to see how I can continue to grow. I feel like I've come a long way from when I started with Ryan. And thanks to Ryan too for getting me started. I definitely wouldn't be here without him. And I owe a lot to him, and I miss him dearly. I've told him I'd take him back in a heartbeat, but yeah, I'm
cry right now, bro.
No, I'm good. Can I maybe get a hug after this though?
Yes, we can arrange that.
No, all good. But in all seriousness, I'm super excited to see, where I can go from here and where we go as a family and as a show, and I'm super excited. I feel like the future's wide open. So
love it. Not Jay Randall.
He has dimples. They're just hidden behind the beard.
Yeah, they're in there somewhere. No, I appreciate you and Jay for sure for everything you've done, and big shout out to Dan Perry because he's the one that originally got me into this. I screwed up and told him I was, if you ever need a guest or anything, just holler at me. And he was like, hey, what are you doing on Mondays for like ever
the rest of your life?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But it's been a freaking awesome ride. As far as what's next, what you can catch on the reel down, and as much as it you want it to be so much different, our niche is so small. We try to keep it as fresh as we can, but if anything, you can be sure that we're going to keep you plugged into the national tournament scene. Get the best anglers in our sport, as much time as we can to get their stories, and we get some juice on there too. But just the last thing, just because you mentioned on it earlier about people sending you messages and stuff, and it can be uplifting, and like I want to encourage more people to do that.
Hold on. I just got a Facebook message from Ryan Milford, says, I will eat you.
Hey, Jay.
Is that another Jim Beam moment?
He's probably in the bottle already.
Hey, Brian.
But no, like you were talking about how, talking to us and, listeners and stuff, sending you message. I just want to encourage more people to do that. You don't know how much it helps us sometimes, man. Like, no. I had a hell of a rough go after August, after getting COVID and shit last year. And I've gotten into some really dark places and really in my own mind. And the couple of messages that we have got definitely help. And then y'all, most of all, man, y'all aren't second family to me. Like, this is my family because, I've talked to Brian probably the most just because, I don't know, it's kind of hard to be upset or in a bad mood around Brian. So, like, when it's got the worst, even if he doesn't know that, just talking to y'all, and I don't know, it helps, so I appreciate all y'all for that because I definitely need all of this. It's fantastic.
So if we are the family, does that mean the world's greatest turkey sandwich maker is now available?
Oh, snap.
I think she just comes as part of the package.
Honey, I'm getting divorced.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, if you're swinging through,
she's gonna storm in here and beat my ass. I'm just saying. But
that was like
that's
the
a good
happiest
viral video.
That was like the happiest, worst message ever.
Yeah. You just see him put the headphones down. I'm out.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
But
no, man.
If you're coming to Gunnersville, like we talked about, if you pass through, I'll get her to make you a sandwich, man.
Oh, dude.
There you go.
I'm salivating now. Let's go to the man himself, Mr. One Hit Wonder, Mr. Jay Randall. Final thoughts.
Like I said, I don't like any of you, and Dick pretty much, is the same as what I said earlier. So
even more so.
I'm gonna make a gesture, and we're just gonna go with that. No, it'd be cool. I like to see what happens in the next year, next future, and everything. See if you guys, obviously I can't go to ICAST. I got some things going on here, but
sitting on the couch don't count, brother.
Yeah, I wish that was the case. Well, that still might be the case. You don't know.
You collected all the figurines at RGB, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Just for full disclosure, none of this is mine. So we know.
Of course, it's not. Of course.
I'm in an area that I'm not authorized to be in, but I went ahead and sat here anyway. So aside from all my audio problems earlier,
we're gonna acknowledge that Jay is the creepy guy with petting the cat cat with collecting, hoarding figurines on the back at that stage of this lifestyle.
That's why I did it, dude. Trying to get the porn stash going and everything, man. I'm like
midlife crisis. Midlife
I'm
crisis.
the whole shebang. Oh yeah, But no, it's cool. Just keep on doing what you guys are doing and stuff, and leave me the hell alone. So. Yeah, pretty much. Nobody likes
engage
me anyway.
in the chat. No, everybody loves you. Jay doesn't engage in the chat. Jay doesn't talk much on his show, but he's just as big a part of the family as everybody else. So
it's funny because Jay and I have had that conversation. He's like, "Yeah, I don't say much," but you said, or Duke said this to me one time. Duke from Catch. He goes, "Jay is a crucial part to the show, even though he doesn't say much. You set him up, and he knocks him down." And that's the way I've always looked at it,
I don't like Duke either.
Catchboards are overrated.
Shut up, Duke. Stupid.
But no, it's good stuff, man, and it's super cool, man, because I get in, like Jimmy said, like we all have rough patches in our life, and sometimes it's not easy to talk to your wife, your parents, whoever, but like this family here, I think we all can reach out at any given point in time and just be uplifted a little bit, whatever's going on in life, fishing, things like that. It's, I've had conversations with all you guys, and, good times and bads, it's, that's one thing I was going to mention too. Like, quite a few of us have had some really good success tournament-wise this year, which is awesome to see, especially Dan Perry just crushing it.
Killing it, man.
Jimmy had a second-place finish.
Hey, congrats, Jimmy.
Brad is smoking the Wednesday night tournaments or Tuesday night tournaments.
Yeah. Hurl Boss is leading AOI up there. He won it. That was his first win. And it may be small things like that, dude, but it goes a long ways, and it's good to for all of us, I think, to support each other and lift each other up when we need it. And it's just been nothing but a positive thing, like, there's times where I've probably pulled a lot of my hair out because of, headaches, scheduling issues, whatever it may be throughout the podcast. But at the end of the day, we all come together as a collective, and we make it work, and we continue to make it grow. And for you listeners out there, man, again, thank you so much for your support. And like, I think it was Jay that mentioned it, like, mention it to your buddies, get people involved in the outdoors, turn them on to the podcast. Maybe it'll help them get involved in it. And then you got a new fishing buddy and things like that. Like, the growth that we've seen, I mean, we've been in the podcast realm for a long time, right? But like, the growth we've seen, and the way I explain it to people is we double our audience size every single year, which is pretty incredible. And, when you look at like YouTubers and things like that, like, they're not doubling all the time like that. And it's pretty cool to see, not only for us, but for the sport. You know what I mean? Like, it shows that the sport of fishing and kayak fishing is growing and continuing to grow, to carry on these traditions and things like that. And, Jimmy, you mentioned 10 years down the road, and, I hope I'm still here, but we're going to have a whole new slew of anglers and hosts and things like that are coming in and joining this family. And, if there's one thing I could ever wish, is that, this thing just carries on forever and ever and ever. And, what we have right now and what we show right now, and the awesome group of listeners that we have, just continues to grow and be cool like that, throughout the entirety of Paddle and Fin's life, so.
Yeah. And not only that, just to interrupt, like, I hope to see more podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Like, the more the merrier, guys. I mean, keep doing it. Even if you're new to it, just get Anchor, download it, use your phone. It's super simple. Yeah. We're not sponsored by Anchor. I'm just saying it's super easy to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. So, I mean, everybody, open some dialogue, start a conversation.
I mean, and who knows? Like, then you get pulled under our umbrella. Like,
right?
Yeah, I mean, just have some fun out there and do it for the love.
Well, and along with that too, I was going to say, for the people who do get send us comments or ideas, if you want to see something, give us a shout out, because that makes our job way easier when it gives us ideas and helps us to really just hit it out of the park. Yeah, when we know exactly what you're looking for. So
Totally
all
agree,
the comments are totally helpful. So
yeah, I've seen Sean drop in the noobs group and be like, "Hey, what do you guys want to listen? I'm kind of at a wall. What would you guys like to hear?" And all those folks that commented on that, people that send us messages on any of the social medias and send us emails, like it's very cool to get that stuff. And again, like that's what keeps us all going, and it's super cool to be part of such an awesome community and have such an awesome support group like you guys, the listeners, and the industry that's accepted us and is I'm repeating myself, but super cool, man. Happy birthday to you guys. Happy birthday to the listeners. Real quick, just want to shout out some of the hosts that have been on this podcast that have also been part of this growth. Josh Eldridge, Jason Ricketts, Justin Marshall, John Graves, Ryan Milford. I mean,
Sam Jones.
Yeah. I mean, so many folks that have been a part of this and still continue to support us, even though they're not a part of it, on the podcast, they're still a part of it in the background. So huge shout out to all those folks. So
what you got there, Jay?
I just saw that. I looked up and I'm like, oh shit.
This is a PG show, Jay.
Oh god.
I feel like that guy that got caught in his web meeting.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. I was making some coffee, counting stuff.
I need somebody to freeze that, screenshot it, and that's the new background.
So
it's
horrible.
coming. It's coming. I got Photoshop. Don't worry.
Oh man,
we're good.
I'm naturally a redhead, so
yeah. God. Oh God. On that note, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, as always,